filming comedy skits with her husband, Matt, and we can't wait for you to listen to what she has to say. So let's make some noise as Victoria teaches you how to rock your socials.
Hello and welcome. I'm so excited to be sharing with you all about social media and how you can rock your business online. But before we get started, I'm going to tell you guys who I am, a little bit about me. We're going to go over some social media basics. I'm going to be talking about the best platforms to be advertising your business and how to find your voice online. That's a question I get a lot. And then I'm going to wrap it up with some pro tips for those of you who are already rocking it online but want to take things to the next level. So hi, my name is Victoria Jameson-Krath. I am a Ruby Crown Princess with Synergence International. I've been with the company since 2015 and I have loved spending the last 5 years getting to know our amazing corporate staff and building my business mostly online. I actually was a pageant queen and a professional dancer before I came into my career as a Synergence distributor, and it's been really fun to transition and be able to build my business online so that my life is so much more flexible. I also am an elite MUA and I'm an internationally published makeup artist, so I really hit the ground hard with my makeup career in addition to my Synergence career, and I've had a lot of fun collaborating with photographers and my work has been published, which has been really neat to see. And the key part of all of this is I'm a certified social media strategist. So as I was trying to make my career as a starving artist, I really found my love for social media. And I realized how powerful it was to be able to build your brand online, and it really allows you to make an income doing whatever you want. And obviously you're here because you want to build your income with Synergence, and social media really makes that possible for everyone. I've been so blessed to have built my following to over 900,000 on TikTok and over 150,000 on Instagram and other platforms, and the numbers and the growth I've seen in my business as a result has been incredible, and I want you guys to have that type of success for your business as well. So let's jump into the number one goal of every single platform on social media. The one thing they want is your attention. The biggest and most important thing about any platform, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or any of the new platforms floating around out there, is you need to provide value. All of these platforms basically make money and profit off of people spending time on the platform. So your time is valuable. The time of your followers is valuable. They want to share content and promote content that is valuable because people spend more time consuming that content. I think that's one thing a lot of people forget about when they're building their social media business is they think, I'm going to get on and I'm going to sell products. And it does not work that way. If I had had that approach to my business, I would not be where I am today. You are your most valuable asset in your business. So it's important to be shareable. And it's important to be relatable. When you're able to relate to people, that's going to build those relationships. And people buy with who they know, like, and trust. And you're able to build those relationships online just like you are in person. I actually heard one of my favorite social media influencers talking about how it's impossible for the human brain to determine whether when they're looking at someone on a video, if that is in person or if that's digital. And I think that's one reason we're seeing such an that's one reason we're seeing such a big growth in influencer marketing and in direct selling online, is because people really are building those relationships. The people following us really feel like they know us because their brain literally thinks they're talking to you through the screen. It's just like building a face-to-face relationship, but we're doing it from the comfort of our own home, which is amazing. It's so important to be able to grow our influence in this way because the way we're seeing market trends going is more towards an influencer style of marketing. So I don't want you to think about yourself as a store online. I want you to think of yourself as an influencer, and that is where you're going to be able to leverage your business the best. Now, I always get this question, is why aren't people seeing my posts? And this brings in a few different things. Visibility, value, keywords, and engagement are so important. Visibility basically means having a forward-facing platform. I think a lot of people, when they get into direct selling, they're using social media as more of a consumer. You're using it in a private way. It's how you're sharing your life with your family, with your friends you want to keep up with that you don't live around, even with your friends in your local community that you don't see every day. It's interesting because once you become an influencer, which you are as a Synergence distributor, you want to have forward-facing public social media. So if you have a private Facebook page and you're trying to reach new customers on your private Facebook page, you're really limiting your reach to the people that it's already in your audience. The same goes with Instagram, YouTube, any other platforms, just like with TikTok as well, you would be limiting your reach when you are keeping a private account. So I encourage you guys to have a public facing account, which does sometimes mean censoring some safety things. I don't recommend sharing photos of your children, of places that they go often, or checking into locations. Obviously you want to keep privacy private. Doesn't make any sense. Obviously, you want to keep your personal life private in some sense, but you do have to have a forward-facing personality behind your business in order to build your brand online. Value is the number 2 reason people aren't seeing your posts. If you just post a picture of a cute lip sense color and say, "This is blue red," where's the value in that post? What is going to make someone want to engage with that? Why should someone stop and look at your photo? There are so many beautiful images and videos online. You have to have value behind your post in order for people to engage with it. That means sharing parts of your life that aren't just your business. I think we get stuck in this mindset that is, oh, I want to sell products, so I need to post about product. And I'll let you guys in on a secret. My most converting posts I've made didn't talk about product at all. My posts that have seen the most engagement and the most impressions, which basically means people that have stopped to look at your post, weren't about lip sense. They weren't about Synergence. They were about me, because I'm my brand, and as a result I build my business through that. Keywords are a big factor. So if you're not putting keywords in your posts that are bringing your ideal clients in, it's going to limit your engagement. If I posted a picture of blue red and I wanted to find people that were interested in long-lasting lipstick, that love red lipstick, that love bold makeup looks, that, you know, want their lipstick to last all day, then I'm going to think about keywords that those people might be searching that have to do with the post. You kind of have to reverse engineer it and think about, what would I search if I wanted this to come up on someone's newsfeed or on their search feature? And the last one is engagement. So if no one's engaging with your posts, that tells Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of these social media platforms that no one else wants to see it. So if someone scrolls right on by, that's almost like a negative point to your post. So we want to keep people on our posts for as long as possible. That's why we're seeing video content convert so well. That's why we're seeing carousels on Instagram convert so well, and I'm going to talk more about this later. Also, engaging with your potential customers and with your followers is so important in the comments as well. Replying to comments, getting that engagement actually shows the platforms that people want to engage with your content, so it's going to show them to more people. Now, I've kind of touched on this a little bit, but I wanted to go more into a concrete explanation of the 4 types of posts you should think about making on social media. Now, this is something that I learned during my time as a social media strategist at an agency here in Dallas, where this is basically the basis of business online. This is what big major corporations use, this is what small businesses use, this is what influencers use, and this is what will work for you too. So there's 4 types of posts, and you'll start to notice these now that we're going over them. I want you to think about your favorite person to follow on social media and look at what types of posts and how their posts fall into these categories. So the first category is entertainment. This could be telling a story, making someone laugh, making them cry, making them feel an emotion, and catching their attention. The second one is informative. So this is teaching them something, sharing knowledge, giving them a piece of value to take with them in their life. The third one is interactive. This is asking a question, getting feedback, finding out what your audience wants, what they like, what they don't like. People love to talk about themselves. And the last one is converting. And I'll let you guys in on a secret. This is the one that people tend to focus on, but this is not the most important one. Yes, it's important to have this within your posts and within your presence online, but this is not the one you should be focusing on. This is actually the one you should make the least types of posts of. of. And this would be asking for a sale, telling someone to DM you, telling someone to click the link in your bio, telling them to swipe up on a story, telling them that you're taking orders, to comment below. Anytime you're instructing someone on how to make that sale, that's a conversion post. And if you focus on too many of these, typically this turns off potential customers. And that's why it's important to focus on the entertainment, the information, and the interaction with your clients instead of just focusing on the conversion, because the conversion comes through knowing, liking, and trusting the person you're following. I'm going to give you guys an example of how I've integrated these into my own social media pages so that hopefully you'll see more ways that you can integrate this into your own content. And a lot of times you might have heard online, content is king. Content is so important because it's what sets you apart from all the other in our company. My content is not the same as Shannon Hyde's content or Sana Salah's content. I probably slaughtered your name, Sana. I'm so sorry. I can never say your last name right. But there are so many amazing content creators in our company who are putting out great images and great videos. This is what sets you apart. And if you don't feel like your content is maybe where some of these posts I'm showing you are at, trust me, if you go scroll back in anyone's posts from 4 years ago or even from a year ago, everyone is constantly improving in the types of content they're creating. Content is what gets you in front of customers. And if you're only sharing content that the company puts out or that other distributors put out, then you're almost doing yourself a disservice because you're not letting your clients get to know you. So I hope that showing you these posts encourages you to grow and learn how to create content for yourself even more. It seems kind of intimidating, but it's a process and it's an important part of your process growing your presence online. So here's some examples of entertainment type videos and posts that I've done on my page. The first one here is me taking off a Halloween look, and I actually reversed it so that I was putting on the look and it looked like I was just wiping my makeup on. And this was a very highly engaging post. It's actually one of my best performing posts on my Instagram because it was eye-catching. It made people kind of laugh because they thought, oh, what is she doing? How is she doing that? It got people talking, asking me, oh, how did you do that? Oh, what lipstick color is that? And it was overall just visually engaging for people. The next one, this is one of my favorite types of entertainment posts to do because it's so easy. I found a meme that was super relatable to me. This one's about other girls when they do a messy bun versus me when I do a messy bun, and I actually made it a carousel on Instagram, which is where you have multiple photos, and I put photos of me with really tragic buns, and it was just a funny laugh for anyone that knows me and follows me. So this one was very highly converting for me. I got lots of likes, lots of shares. Shares are important because it tells the algorithm that people want to see your content. This is so easy to do because memes are everywhere. You can find them on Pinterest, you can find them on Google, and you're able to put your own spin on it. And this last one, I actually did a before and after of taking a photo and making a, it's a super pretty photo I took in my backyard with my husband. But then the second one is my hair and my eyelashes and how it was actually taking the photo, because for every one good one, you get about 50 bad ones. And this one really spoke to my brand because I talk a lot about Instagram versus reality, about social media versus how our lives are in real life. So this was great because it promoted my brand and what I represent online about being authentic and being yourself. And it was also funny because the second picture was pretty funny, I have to admit. Here's a couple more entertainment posts, and I hope that this kind of gets your juices flowing about how you can integrate these into your page. This first one is eye-catching, where I'm saying, what? And I did this about sunscreen because a lot of people don't know that you're supposed to wear sunscreen every day if you want to protect your skin. So this one was eye-catching. It got people to stop scrolling. Why am I making that terrible face? They wanted to read it and see, what I was talking about, why I was reacting like that. And then in the second one, this one's a great example of storytelling. So I talked about how, being a makeup artist was never in my plan. And I think so many of us can relate to the fact that SeneGence wasn't ever in our plan. For for so many of us, it was something that appeared in our life and has really filled a place that we needed. So it's important to tell your story because people relate to these stories, and part of that is getting people used to the idea that this might be an opportunity for them too. So by sharing your story in an authentic way, and not even in a way of thinking, oh, I'm gonna share this so that people will sign up for my team. You can't go about it like that. But if you're authentically sharing where you're coming from, that reads and people can tell. So telling your story of how you came to be in the company and why it means so much to you in bite-sized pieces is a really great way to entertain your audience with storytelling. It doesn't always have to be funny. I hope that makes sense. Now next, let's talk about informing people. So education is a huge thing online. I'm actually seeing be pushed on Instagram, Facebook, and on TikTok right now, and on YouTube if we're gonna get into YouTube a little bit. But education is so valuable because on the internet, you can basically learn anything you wanna know for free. So you want to be that voice of authority that people go to learn about whatever topic they want. And I don't want you to feel like you have to be a professional makeup artist or you have to be this huge authority in skincare and beauty. I follow so many great creators online that talk about beauty products, and I would listen to their recommendations, but I've learned so much about them from their experiences in life. You know, one of my downlines works in the foster care system, and I've learned so much from her, educating me through her content on what adoption is like and what foster care looks like for kids. And that's a way that I know her clients and customers feel connected to her because that's an area she's passionate about, and she attracts people that are passionate in that area. So don't feel like this has to be beauty content. For me, a lot of the times it is, but for you, it can be anything you could talk about because there are so many people in the world. There are people that are going to be drawn to your brand, your unique brand, no matter what. I promise, no matter how weird it sounds, there's people that want to connect to you and want to find people that are interested in the same things that they're interested in. And it takes that diversity in the selling space to really find the people that you connect with. So for me, I have a couple different examples here of how I do this in my content. One great example was just how I educated people on the new Kiss and Tell program. So I used the carousel feature on Instagram to share different slides that were step-by-step information about how they could sign up. Super easy, and it keeps people on the post longer because they swipe through it, and that tells Instagram, hey, we should show this to more people because they're staying longer on the post. That's why you guys might see some influencers or content creators out there who post really long captions. So you guys ever seen that? And you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is like a whole blog article. This is like a diary entry in here. But the biggest reason for that is because it keeps people on your post longer, especially if it's a great engaging post. Now next, this is just a little hair tutorial. I am by no means a hairstylist or an influencer in the hair space, but I had a lot of people compliment my hair in a photo I did, so I thought, okay, well, I'll just show people how I did this. It did really well. It did better than average, and so I challenge you guys to maybe step a little bit outside of your comfort zone and share something that works for you, even if you're not an expert in that area. And this last one, this was just a quick reel I did on Instagram of showing how to apply bronzer. Super basic, something that a lot of people still have questions on. I know if you were like me in middle school, you probably put bronzer all over your entire face and it was tragic. So I think some people need a little bit of education on those things that we learned way back when from magazines back in the day that now it's so much easier to learn from visually. So the conversion for these makeup posts does really well for me. Now next, interaction. I'm gonna get a drink of water really quick. I always say that you need to have a call to action in everything you post, basically. But there is a certain type of post that is purely for interaction. You guys might have seen some of these posts on Instagram or Facebook where it's telling you to use the auto suggest feature to comment what you're gonna eat for a holiday, or the ones that ask you to, you know, pick something from each column and it comes up with your crazy name or alter ego name. There are so many interaction type posts on the internet. I think sometimes we forget what it actually looks like. So I wanted to show you guys a few ways that I've integrated this into my brand. So for me, I love nails and I talk a lot about nails, and for me, my nail content performs really well, which is funny because I don't sell nails, I sell makeup. So it's great because this brings new people into my audience. So this first one was a video I did on TikTok that was just asking my followers which nails they wanted to see me review, and I got a record number of comments. I got over 4,000 comments on this one telling me which ones I should review. And the great thing about that is it helps you plan content and know what you should keep posting, because people are literally telling you what they want from you. I always tell people to pay attention to the comments, because when people are literally asking you for content, sometimes we forget and we don't think, oh, I should make a video on that. That's actually a really good idea. Next up, this is one I did for Halloween, was just asking people to pick my Halloween costume, and this one performed really well for me as well, and I ended up using some of the looks that they chose, and I knew that those ones would perform well because they were in high demand, because my followers told me, hey, we want to see you do this look, and then I knew, okay, well, if I do that look, then they're going to be excited because they helped me choose it, and it makes people feel involved in the process. That's super important. And last, this is some swatches I did. I love doing swatch pictures like this because they're so aesthetic and fun. And I asked my followers, you know, which shade is your favorite? So simple, so easy. This one got a ton of comments on it because people wanted to share what they personally love. Like I said earlier, people love talking about themselves. Your social media isn't so much about you and sharing you as it is how you help other people, if that makes sense. So when they can relate to you and share what their thoughts are, and you can say, oh yeah, I love wearing that shade with garnet in the crease, or share your thoughts on it, or oh my gosh, I could never pull off plasma pink. That one scares me, but I love that you love that shade. That is something that makes people feel connected to you, and it helps you to build those relationships. Now, last but not least is conversion. This is one, like I said, sometimes people overuse, and I want you guys to think about in your social media how much you do this. I think sometimes when people think of direct selling online, they think of people saying, message me to order, you know, just a post that's a flyer or something that was a promotional material. I know for me, this is what I think of, or what I thought of before I was in the company, was just people trying to get me to buy something from them, and that's not the vibe we want to give off with Senegence. So it's important to have these posts still though, because this is kind of that last loop that brings people in, and sometimes this is that stepping stone for people to go ahead and place an order with you. They just have to have that last point of contact. I think on average it takes about 7 points of contact. I might be wrong on that statistic. If anyone wants to correct me in the group chat, I think it's 7, but then for some reason I want to say 21 points of contact. One of those has to be right in order for someone to make a purchase with you. So don't get discouraged if the first conversion post you make doesn't get any sales. 5 years ago, I didn't have anyone watching my stuff. I had 0 people on my YouTube channel. I had 0 people on my TikTok page. But now when I post something, those do convert. And even if they don't convert then, they can convert in the future because they're always there on social media. So this first example is me sharing a sale. This was one of the promotions that Senegence ran for the mascara. So I shared some bullet points that were from back office. Make sure that you keep your wording within what is allowed to be promoted online, super important. And then I shared a photo of myself wearing it on one eye versus the other one, and I said comment sold to snag yours, and that gives people permission and they know how to make that purchase from you, which sometimes I think people get confused and they're like, where do I order from? So sometimes we do have to direct people and make sure they know where they can place that sale, where they can place that order. Next, I have this one, and I think if you ever see someone that says swipe up on your story, that is a conversion. And the great thing now with Instagram TV is that you can send people to posts that have clickable links even if you don't have 10,000 followers on Instagram. So basically, if you're doing a story or anything where you're showing products, at the end of that I said DM me to snag products from this tutorial. I just jam-packed it full of free value of makeup tips and application tips, and at the end I just had one slide that said, you know, DM me if you want to grab any of these. And it's great because now they have the DM button on Instagram and you can throw that in there, which is great for converting to sales as well. And then last but not least, this one was a conversion to a YouTube video I did. So this one said, you know, swipe up to watch my video. That's still conversion, even if it's not a sale. So think about if you saw someone that every single picture on their Instagram story said swipe up, you would probably be like, okay, I'm kind of annoyed by this. So that's why we want to, even if it's not a sale post, it's still converting someone to take that next step, whether that's a sale, whether that's following you on another platform, or subscribing to your email list or your text messaging service. So while you're thinking about all these different ways to post online, I want to encourage you to not post and ghost. You guys might sometimes feel like once you finally get a post up, I know sometimes it's annoying having to tag things and write the caption and add the hashtags and do all the things, and then you just want to turn your phone off and go do something else. But it's so important to engage with people 15 minutes before and after you post to genuinely connect with your audience. So this can be looking through hashtags that you use on posts and engaging with people that might be posting about the same things in your niche, responding to DMs, story mentions, and also comments on all of your platforms. What I like to do is I like to set a timer. I'll turn on my Amazon device or my phone, and I will just sit there and focus as much as I can because it's hard online. And the reason I say to set a timer is sometimes we find ourselves in that scroll hole, especially on TikTok. For those of you guys who are using that platform, the content is so engaging and the algorithms are so good at telling you what you want to see that sometimes it's hard to focus and actually accomplish our goal of engaging with content. So set a timer, go through, find your target audience by searching through hashtags and any other search terms that are pertinent to your brand, and engage with them. Become friends with them. I've met so many friends on social media, which sounds weird, but you know, even if someone is never a customer of mine, I have built genuine relationships through Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, and you can too. It just takes putting the effort in. So setting that timer, going through those hashtags that you use on posts and engaging with them authentically, and of course DMs, responding to DMs is so important because Instagram actually weights DMs the most out of anything. So if someone likes your post, yes, Instagram might show them your post again soon, but if they're in your DMs and you guys are messaging back and forth a lot, you are going to show up on their For You, not your For You page, that's TikTok. Now I'm crossing platforms. You're going to show up on their feed on Instagram more often because Instagram sees, hey, you guys are friends. And the same thing goes for Instagram. Any platform uses this same concept, so you can apply this. Now, let's talk about the best platforms to be building your business on. I think once we start talking about platforms, people tend to get overwhelmed and they feel like they have to be everywhere at once. And if it makes you guys feel better, I started my business day one on Facebook, and that was the only thing I did for a while before I felt confident enough in juggling my content creation to spread out onto other platforms. And it's important to think about what platforms you feel the most confident on, because the style of content is vastly different from TikTok and Instagram and from Facebook to YouTube. Posts that do well on one platform aren't necessarily going to be great for another platform. So it's important to start wherever you feel the most confident, and don't spread yourself too thin, because that's a great way to get burnt out. And trust me, I've been there. So you want to focus where you feel the best, where you feel like you can make the most value on that platform before you try to spread out to new ones. So Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube all have very different demographics, and it's important to kind of understand your own demographic before you delve into one platform too heavily. So let's kind of talk about the features of each platform and how they're different and what that looks like. So on Facebook, we've got a lot going on all of these platforms as they developed. We have a Facebook business page. A Facebook business page is a great way to make your brand look more legit. It is a good public front-facing option. A lot of times when you go to look up a business, I know for me, if I'm looking up a restaurant and I see that they don't have a Facebook page, kind of sketches me out sometimes, and I think, okay, how legit are these people? I know that some people that aren't in the millennial generation might not feel like that, but I think the younger generations do feel like that. If they see a company online that doesn't have a social media presence, it is kind of a turnoff because they can't have that engagement with you. So having that business page kind of gives you like that website effect of being searchable and discoverable. Live videos on Facebook. Facebook was really the first platform to integrate videos into it so heavily. There was a time where live videos were like the thing on Facebook, and I do think they're still valuable, but they have kind of slowed down in their value, but they're still a great way to reach your audience. I would say keep live videos to 10 minutes or less. The shorter you can keep your videos, then the longer watch time you will have, which means the more people will see them. Now, groups is still such a valuable thing on Facebook, being able to create an exclusive community for your business. I personally, I feel like I'm going to be in trouble for saying this. I don't use Facebook groups for my business, but I know people that their number one part of their business is their Facebook group. So it's going to look different for everyone, but Facebook groups still are a very great way to engage with your audience, have them in one place, and build a community there. Stories have now gone over to Facebook. I personally think the best way to utilize Facebook stories is to have your Instagram stories connected to your Facebook through a business account, which anything I say that you're like, wow, Victoria, that sounds like a lot and is confusing to me, you can Google it, and there are so many free resources out there, you guys, for how to set these things up. So I don't want to spend my time here in the presentation instructing you how to set up things where there's already so much great value out there where you can totally do it yourself. But you can connect your Instagram stories to your Facebook and kill two birds with one stone so that you're not posting on both platforms there, which I do and I definitely recommend. Instagram, you've got the in-feed posts that we all know and love. You can do photos, videos, carousels, which like I've been talking about a lot, is multiple photos in one kind of album. Instagram TV, another new feature, is 15 seconds to 60 minutes. This is great for longer form content. If you don't want to delve into YouTube, it's a great alternative. And then live videos now are a thing that Instagram wants us to do, and we do what Instagram wants us to do so that people will see our stuff. And I just saw that they added gifting to live videos. So you can get paid to live stream on Instagram now, which is interesting. I haven't delved into that. But you can do the same types of videos you would do on Facebook here, and you're able to save live videos to your IGTV, so that also kills two birds with one stone. Now stories, these are 15-second slides. We know and love stories. There's so many great features, filters, stickers to play with here. And now we have Instagram Reels, which has such a special place in my heart because it is giving creators such amazing reach, because not enough people are posting on Instagram Reels. So when platforms usually launch a new feature, they will ask people who are content creators in that area to start posting to it. So my husband and I actually were posting to Instagram Reels about 3 weeks before it launched so that they could populate the feeds. And you'll notice that a lot of the creators you see on the feeds are big creators from other platforms. So they're definitely strategic in that way. But what this tells you is that there are not enough people creating Reels. They want to promote you. They want to show your content to people. So when you post to Reels, you on average will probably get a bigger reach than you would on your in-feed. And if you notice, they are prioritizing Reels by pushing it to the front and center button on Instagram, which just happened a couple weeks ago. And last but not least, I am going to talk a little bit about TikTok. Now, with TikTok, I know that there's a lot of controversy around this platform. I actually have a whole podcast about TikTok where I talk about the business side of it and the politics of it and everything going on with it. But basically, TikTok is short form videos. It broke the internet because it grew so much over this whole quarantine stage, and I truly think quarantine is why it grew so much, because people wanted something new to engage with. So if you're new to this platform, here's the cliff notes. It's basically 15 to 60 second videos. There's a huge music library, which you're able to add copyrighted music to your content, which you weren't able to do previously. And there's a much younger demographic on TikTok, so it's a little bit different than other platforms in that way. But the number one value of TikTok is not in conversion, because yes, you can make sales on TikTok. There have been awesome distributors who I've talked to who have made great numbers in sales from TikTok, but the biggest thing is helping to bring your followers from TikTok to Instagram and YouTube, because it has a button in your app where you're able to funnel people to those other platforms that are a little bit more personal. So for me, I actually don't talk about my business much on TikTok, but I have gained over 130,000 followers on Instagram from TikTok. And there's value in that. Even if I'm not talking about lip syncs on my TikTok page, people see it when they get to my Instagram. So you're bringing people that are interested in you and bringing them to a platform where you can engage with them more personally, and that does convert to sales in the long run. Now, I know a lot of people feel so fatigued with creating content and really are worried about how much they can do. So these are kind of my rules of thumb for beating the fatigue of social media. So I want you to think about what kind of content you enjoy creating, whether that's writing, videos, photos. That's really all of the areas of content. I want you to also think about what platforms you're the most confident on. So I talked about this earlier. If you feel like you know Facebook in and out, then maybe that's where you want to start. If you feel like you are an Instagram queen, then girl, go for it. You don't have any rules of where you can start. And also think about what platforms you want to be more confident on, because those can be areas that you start studying more and learning about more and watching what other people are doing and seeing what works for them. And once you're established on one platform, then it's time to grow and go over to other platforms. And you can totally repurpose content. That's the best way to beat fatigue, is repurposing content with slightly different editing or slightly different posting styles or slightly different captions on different platforms, because chances are one person is not going to see the same post on every single platform unless it is your mom, which my mom does see every single post and notices when I repurpose things. But you do have that flexibility of not everyone is watching you through a microscope, so you're able to repurpose content in that way. Okay, so finding your voice online, I think a lot of times people are a little bit scared to put themselves out there. So I just want to encourage you guys and reiterate that you are your brand. Synergence is not your brand. I'm sorry, am I gonna be like cut off for saying that? No, you are your brand, and Synergence is part of your brand, and you have the power to share Synergence through your life and through sharing your life with your followers. I like to tell people to stick to 3 to 5 personal brand topics, and I like to kind of help people find these by saying, what could you talk about all day? What do people see you as an expert in? And what posts perform well for you? So you can actually look at what you've posted in the past, and maybe you had a post that did really well about cooking. Maybe that should be part of your brand. So kind of jotting down 3 to 5 areas that you feel really passionate about that you could talk about, and integrating those into your content so that you're not just posting about your Synergence business. So here I've got a little bit of pro tips for you guys. So I want you guys to lean in on what is working for you by watching analytics, watching the numbers, seeing what content is the most engaging, seeing what content you get the most sales from, watching what is trending, whether that's on TikTok, Instagram Reels, IGTV, your Instagram feed, Facebook. There's so many platforms out there, but if you see the same type of post or the same type of content 2 or 3 times, you might want to consider integrating that into your brand and into a post that you're working on. Also, pay attention to what's working for other people. We have a great community here, and I don't see anyone in this company as competition to me or competition to each other, because our brands are all so different. So if one of my friends does a really great post and is a really funny makeup look, I know Elizabeth Walters did one that did really well where it was like a person and it was with the mask. I don't know, you guys, well, I'll have to find it for you. It's really cute. But that was a trend that was going online, and guess what? That post performed so well for her because she took a trend and adapted it for herself, and I saw so many other distributors recreate it, and it was so fun in sharing that community aspect. And like I've said several times, let your followers guide your content. They're gonna tell you and communicate what they want from you as long as you're communicating with them. And I'm gonna wrap it up here with just a few pro tips, you guys. I know so many of you are already social media rock stars, so I hope that these speak to you and give you new ideas on how to grow. I'm gonna grab water really quick. It's so important to stay engaged with what is happening on platforms. So paying attention to new features. So we just saw Reels roll out in the last 6 months on Instagram. TikTok is a relatively new platform, and those who jumped on it quickly are being rewarded. Stickers and filters, there's so many things that are always changing and always being added to these platforms, which is overwhelming, but is also a great opportunity for you to take advantage of them and be on the cutting edge, because platforms want to push out their new features. So if you're utilizing their new features, you're already going to be on the good side of the algorithm. Also, make sure that you are upping your view time with longer posts, carousels, and concise videos. That's one of the reasons short form videos is so powerful, is because the watch time can be a 100% completion rate. If I post a video that's 10 seconds long and someone watches it twice, that's 20 seconds of watch time. That's telling Instagram or TikTok, hey, we should show this video to more people because this person watched it 200%. So by getting people to spend more time on your posts, it's going to help more people see your posts. This one is a little bit more advanced, and this took me a long time to figure out, but there are great blog posts out there to help you. But you can actually create a store on Instagram and tag your products, and you can connect it to your own website. You can't do it with a site because you have to own the domain, but if you're a little bit more advanced in your content creation, your social media presence, you probably have a website, and you can create an online store with no shopping cart there that actually redirects people to your site. And that one's a little bit more complicated, but is very effective in helping people see your posts and see your products, and then it's listed as a product in the Instagram store, but you're not able to check out there. It sends them to your site. So that one is a very pro tip, and I'm still learning that one. But if you have someone in your life that is really good at marketing and website building, it's there. It has potential. I wouldn't say to make that your #1 priority because it is very tedious, but it's there if you're ready to take that step. And of course, using your Instagram highlights for evergreen story content. Your Instagram highlights are so powerful because it's like a catalog for people to look through. So a lot of times people will put sales, they'll put products, they'll put specific tutorials that will drive traffic to their site or to their CDO. Really quick, just repurposing content across your platforms. I already touched on this, but you do not have to reinvent the wheel on every platform. If you pay attention to any major brand on social media, they are always repurposing and always moving content around, whether it's a post that they're repurposing from a year ago or a week ago. I actually reused some Instagram tutorials I did for Halloween this year from a year ago that I never posted because I didn't get around to editing. So once you kind of have that backlog of content, you're able to repurpose. It is so important, I can't even stress this enough, to treat creating content for social media like part of your business. If I didn't put the effort into creating my YouTube videos, which I would say is probably my most popular Synergence content, I would not be where I am today. I would not have the team I've had. I would not have the sales I've had because I posted a review of Bella when it first released in 2016, and it got 15,000 views, which was a lot back then. I mean, it still is a lot. It just happened overnight, and I had no idea why. So you never know when something like that could happen, and when it does happen, you want to be ready to take advantage of it. Use niche hashtags on Instagram, so things with less than 1 million views on it, and drip campaigns are also a great way to expose your audience to the things that you want to sell, and then eventually there is an opportunity for them to buy it, but you're educating them around it first. Running ads for promotions is a little bit more of a pro thing. I don't really even do this, but there's a lot of great information out there about how to run ads. I would say make sure you're not doing it too much, or else then you're just bleeding money. As long as it's converting, it's fine though. And last little tips I got for you guys, having a funnel system for your orders is so important. So actually having a system of where people are going to go. So for me, they can either go to my site or they can go on Shout and text order to my Shout number. If you have any type of kind of confusion in how to order, it can actually keep people from ordering from you, and then they'll just go to another distributor or go to, you know, their friend's mom down the street that, you know, might not even be a distributor anymore to try to get something. So it's important to have it clearly stated in any of your platforms so that people know where to go. Also, this is a big one for me. I harp on this all the time. Please, 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 do not cold message people. I think that that is the biggest thing that people dislike about direct selling, and I'm very critical of direct selling culture because I consider myself to be a business, and I don't want to come across as this icky salesperson that I think sometimes we can get stereotyped as. So if you want to be part of ending that part of the culture, please do not just message people out of the blue and ask them to buy your products or sign up for your team, because I know the feeling I get when I get messages like that still, and it is not a good feeling, and I'm sure everyone has experienced it at some point. So you want to make sure you're building those relationships first, so that even if you do ask them to join your team or buy something, they're not going to feel gross about it. They're actually going to know that you care about them. Using voice messages, great way to build relationships. Pro tip, voice messages are great on Instagram and on texting and on Messenger for that point. And also getting the relationship off social media. So getting them into your email list or your text messaging system is going to bring that relationship closer to where they're able to have direct contact with you and feel like that is a growing relationship, to where they don't just feel like you're a person behind the screen. So I wanted to wrap this up with a little quote here. It says, social media is about the people, not about your business. Provide for the people, and the people will provide for you. I love this quote because it is so true. Like I said earlier, people care about what you're doing for them, not necessarily about what you're doing. So giving value to people in all areas, not just about beauty and skincare, but inspiring them and showing them that they're not alone is so powerful and really does convert to sales in the long run. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I hope that you learned something today, and I cannot wait to see you guys rock your businesses online.
All right, amazing job right there.